So now we are talking about mind, dreams, myths, and some stories that we make up. We say our dream, our life story, huh? So let's begin with dreams. See, exactly 1 year after Pa is dead, I dreamt in the old house, that's the first house we lived in. I come into my parents' bedroom, and to my left is a bed. Ma, Tita, Soto, and Prem lying on the bed watching TV. And the light of the TV, I can see them. They're all smoking cigars. And Pa is sitting at the end of the bed. Vina is standing in front of Pa, and Vina gives Pa a cigar. So as I come into the room, I think to myself, Ma, Tita, Soto, and Prem smoking cigars, this is one thing. But that Pa is here. Now this, as Pa would say, beat all cockfights, means it is just out of this world. And I say, if there is 5 people in the world who wouldn't smoke a cigar to save their life, it would be this 5, Ma, Pa, Tita, Soto, and Prem. But I said to myself, why is Pa here, or how is he here? So I thought, if I go and I turn on the light above, the electric light, in that amount of light, we will see Pa is not here. So I go, I turn on the switch. The light doesn't come on. I say, now this is funny. There is no electricity for the light, but there is electricity for the TV. So Pa still has that cigar. Vina gave him. So I thought I'd go, I'd have him some matches. I say, I strike this match in this amount of light. We will see or don't see, Pa is not here. But I did not strike the match. I wake up at that point. Oh, that was a Friday dream that I mentioned. So anyway, so the next Friday now, I dreamt we are at the second house that we build now. And I pass outside the window of Pa's room, and I look in, and Pa is there. And I say, man, what are you doing here? You are dead, don't you know? You don't eat, you don't walk. It means you are dead, you cannot be here. Now wake up. That. Now, after that, what happened after that? I dreamt right at that house, the second house. It was a house on pillars. Pa is standing right at the front of the house. And like I chased him under the house. And by the time we get to the back of the house, I held him. I tied him with a rope. And it was a ladder. I climbed up the ladder, and this ladder was against a library of books. I reached it up and I pull on the rope, and I wake up with that. And I said, there is something I have to know. I mean, this is related to Pa and all these books. That's what I'm thinking, right? And the next week after that, I dreamt. It seemed like I was driving along the highway. I pull over, got out on the side of the road, and I am down as if I'm tying my shoelace or something like that. I'm looking down. And a man comes from behind me, and he says, hey, mister, take one. And he moves on. Now that came to me like when usually we say, take 5, means take a break. But for some reason, take 1. He goes on to the next car ahead of me, said something to that man there and turned back. And as he's coming, I can see his Pa. And I said, how come he doesn't recognize me? So he passed. 2 minutes later, I look back and I see he looked back also and he smiled. And I said, he knows it's me. But why didn't he say something? Then in the next dream, after that, the next week, in that dream, I thought to myself, that dream was set up to show me that he is still working. So he's not really what we would call, well, some manner of dead. I know he's dead, but he's somewhere. But just how every now and then it gets funny with me and Pa. It was exactly 1 year after Ma's dead. I dreamt I came out of a coffee shop. And you know the coffee shop, all the walls are glass. I look through the glass, and on the other side, I see pies coming in. So I go back in. I go to his table in front of him, but I walk back far enough that he doesn't have to look up too high to see me. And I said, mind if I join you? And he said, yes. And I said, what? Pa, look, it's me at him. And he said, okay, you can sit. So I sit down. And then I said, I don't know what this means to you, but how are you? And he said, all's well that ends well, huh? And I said, I guess so. And I wake up with that. And I think to myself, well, it's one funny thing that he would say, yes, I mind if you sit here. But what shocked me most is that the part that I said, I guess so. In my life, I never guess so. I always know so, even when I make it up. So anyway, getting back to that distance now. After the work business there, came the stories that started the story of the snake. My pa took me when he said, come boy, I take you where you'll get what you're after. And that story continued with the snake story, right? So now let's see the stories we put together for this. Let's examine the life and the death and things like that. See, life is food and knowledge. The activity we built from this is the body of man. And the duration of the activity is the period or duration of a man's life. And now, from this food and knowledge, we construct an ambition that we go out. This ambition is what we call the soul of man. With this, you go out into the world. And so we have birth, duration or lifespan, and we have death. And between the activities, we have spaces. And this space is mind. Because from this space comes the thought, the knowledge, the activity, and then it comes back to space or space or mind. And we say that all things exist in mind, all things arise, all life arise from mind and dissolves in mind. The question is in figure-outiveness. I made that up like that. You have to figure out, like, or see this. Are you tempted to come in the life? Are you called to come in the life? Do you choose something to come in the life, or are you chosen? What becomes man and what man becomes? And when it is time to die, this is the quest or the question. Now, I talk also about battlefield, warriors, and weapons. I cover that in another story. Now watch this. I'm talking about me and my story, yeah? You talk about you and your story. When I think about smoking, I smoke. When I think about not smoking, I smoke. And when I am not thinking, I smoke. So when am I not thinking? This is the quest. And the question is figure-outiveness. Now, some things, whatever we become, say, some things cannot be undone. The best we can hope for is waiting for time. Look through the time of activity in minutes. Look through the activity and see the space and claim that space. You see, if you engage in activity without preparing for the end or the space, your re-engagement is assured. Something else will come up. Feel what rises and falls and what supports. And there you practice yoga. See what goes and what comes and what is constant. And there you practice meditation. Experience what moves and what is fixed in the movement. And there is the identity. Try some figure-outiveness. I am Aten Raj Indra Nath, interpreter.